Welcome to October Scaries. I'm almost done making my way through the 13 movies I've been watching this month. Let's talk about The Wailing. The Wailing is, I think, movie number 11 of 13. It's a South Korean horror film. In it, a policeman named Jong-gu is investigating a series of murders and illnesses that's like ravaging and spreading throughout his village. The pressure mounts when his daughter gets infected, and he has to really try to figure out where this is coming from, what is causing the sickness, if he has any hopes of saving her at all. So the movie is directed and written by Na Hong-jin. It stars Kwak Do-won, Hwang Jung-min, Chun Woo-hee, Jun Kunimura, Kim Hwan-hee, and Kim Hwan-hee. Now, apologies in advance for how I'm going to pronounce the character names. These are not names that I'm used to saying. This movie, I'll just tell you right now, it's a 5 out of 5. I don't have a single note for this movie. It's the longest movie on the list, clocking in at a little over 2.5 hours. But the thing is, we didn't feel it. Even with the ads on Tubi, I believe is where we watched it, we didn't feel it. It went by very fast. So I really enjoyed the pacing. We started off funny, laughing out loud. I really enjoyed the main character, Jong-gu, the policeman. He was so normal. I enjoy, you get a sense that this is a town, a village, where not a lot happens, where murders are not common. Because he wasn't the head honcho of the police department, the one that everyone looks to. He was just an average man, an average family man who is a cop. At a certain point, I was like, do they even carry weapons? Because it was just, he was very mild-mannered, and the way all of the cops were in this village, it was just giving, we've never dealt with this before. So we very smoothly transitioned from this funny movie, him living his everyday life, being late all the time to work, to things are serious, to things are desperate. The police keep getting these calls and these cases essentially where a person has murdered their entire family, and they are the only ones, it's a bloody, gory scene. They've murdered their entire family, and they are left sometimes in a daze, sometimes screaming and wailing, or maybe it's the family member that's left over who still survives that's screaming and wailing. Either way, rumors abound in this town that the culprit is this Japanese man. Remember, this is a South Korean town, South Korean movie. Rumors are that it's this Japanese stranger who's living in town. People are saying he's a ghost. People are saying he's a beast. He's a monster. It's his fault. I like that aspect. I found it very interesting knowing the history between Japan and South Korea. Basically, Japan is an imperialist colonizer that's done numerous atrocities to South Korea and to other countries. But as you may have heard people quip on social media that Japan gave the world anime, and so everybody forgets how terrible they have been in the past and maybe even the present. So I like that the evil, the Japanese man is suspected. Now, while I was watching it, I was I like the commentary, but he's the lone Japanese person in this town. Is this also a commentary on xenophobia? It's not. It is not. So, loved that. The mystery of it all. I really enjoyed the way we worked our way through the story. Really loved the curveball, okay? Because after 2 hours of sitting through this movie, with 30 minutes before the end, 20 minutes before the end, they throw us this curveball of it wasn't the Japanese man this entire time. It's actually this woman who we saw very briefly before. It's actually her. And so here we are, we have our main character, who his mother-in-law had hired this shaman who charged him 20,000, whatever the currency is in South Korea, to come and basically do an exorcism and get the demon out of the little girl, because that's the sickness that she came down with. She became quite possessed. She was cussing at her father, being very violent and all that stuff. And so the shaman comes and performs his shamanic ritual, which I liked how long that scene was. It really allowed me to get into the moment of this is a real deal ritual. And I read from an interview with the director afterwards that like it really was an actual authentic ritual, and he was like, he wondered if anybody was gonna have a seizure from watching that. So he hires the shaman. The shaman performs the ritual, and he's almost about to get the demon out of the girl. The girl is screaming and begging her parents to get him to stop, and you see like her bones start like poke, like it looks like it's about to burst through her skin. And the father had previously seen someone in a hospital who was infected see the bones trying to burst out of the skin, and that man ended up died right in front of him. So I understand the fear he was feeling, the uncertainty, and he was like, she's screaming for me to stop, I'm seeing her bones are about to pop out, I remember what happened to this man at the hospital. And he goes and he ruins the ritual, stops it, and the shaman had told him like, don't. So he stops it. So of course, his daughter remains infected and only gets worse and worse. And so like what, 20 minutes before the movie is supposed to end, the shaman, like he's about to haul ass out of town because he had an encounter with that woman, the woman in white. Her, she's credited as Mu Myung. The shaman is called Il Guang. Woman in white, shows up to the cop's house, and it's like, no, the shaman was coming to the cop's house, and the woman, we previously saw her kill the Japanese man. We didn't see her put hands on him, but he came tumbling down the mountain, and we saw her smiling, and we're like, what is going on? And so then she pops up at the policeman's house. Shaman is coming to the house, and she tells the shaman, you are not welcome here. Get the hell out. And she makes him throw up. And so then we see the shaman hauling ass trying to get out of town, but then some locusts come and like get in his windshield, and so he has to return back. On his way back, he calls the policeman as the policeman is heading home, and he tells the policeman, it wasn't the Japanese man this whole time, it's the woman in white. And who's there? The woman in white. And so here we have our main character, Jong-gu, this desperate man who's trying to save his daughter and trying to figure out what is the right thing to do. The shaman is in his ear, telling him, it's the woman in white, it's not the Japanese man. Do not listen to what she's telling you to do. And we have the woman in white who's like, listen to me. Do not go in your house. If you wait until the rooster crows 3 times, your family will be saved. And the man is like, who do I listen to? And I'm right there with him like, what is going on? Is she the evil? Like, it wasn't really her this whole time? After 2.5 hours, or almost 2.5 hours, and he decides to listen to the shaman, the one he's known this whole time, and he goes into the house. By the time he gets into the house, the daughter has killed her mom and her grandmother, and she also ends up killing him. And so it's this whole thing about faith, a test of faith. Who are you listening to? Who do you believe? And so we had a great time after the movie was done trying to figure out like, hold up, was the shaman in league with the devil this whole time? Because it turns out the Japanese man is the devil that everybody thought he was. Was he the devil this whole time? Because there's this whole thing about him taking people's pictures before, and then after he infects them, he takes their picture to keep their souls. And so then we see the shaman as he's about to, after everything goes down, we see a box or whatever of pictures in his trunk. And so we're like, wait a minute. And it's the type of movie where like once it's done, you're going back like, wait, what did I miss? What were the signs? Apparently one of the signs was that there's a scene where the shaman is changing his clothes. When the policeman first met him, he's just changing in the open, and his underwear, apparently, I would know this, is a Japanese like brand underwear, and it's like the same underwear that the Japanese man was wearing. It's a great movie. You have not seen me smile this much talking about any other movie on this list. 5 out of 5. There's a quote that says, not everything that moves, breathes, and talks is alive. Many people have perished for not understanding that. That's a quote in the movie, and we definitely got while we were watching it.